minutes away from commencement of Day 3, Plenary 4 of RISE Rotary Zone Institute 2023. I've just shared the photograph on the WhatsApp group, the participants' WhatsApp group. External Affairs Minister, Honorable Dr. S. Jaishankar, has landed and has been received by our VIP hospitality team at the airport. So we await his arrival, and in the meantime, we will proceed with the program as scheduled. As soon as he arrives, we will shift to his address. Thank you. So, our Rotary International President, Gordon McKinley, had inaugurated the RISE Corporate End Polio Golf Tournament on the 14th of December at Prestige Golfshire, which is the #1 golf course in India. 72 golfers, Rotarians and non-Rotarians from the International Fellowship of Golfing Rotarians participated, many from Bangalore, many from outside. This tournament was to raise funds for the End Polio or the Eradicate Polio program. And let me tell you, it was a grand success with around 10 donors coming forward to contribute to the cause of End Polio, and we raising around $100,000 to the cause of eradicating polio through the Rotary Foundation. And we are going to recognize those donors later today. Similarly, early this morning, which was late last night, we left the fellowship area at Markata early because President Gordon enjoyed the ride on the local Namma metro. So our metro rail took us to the other end of Bengaluru within 20 minutes, which otherwise would have taken 1 hour and 20 minutes. And over there, our president flagged off the 16th edition of the Phone Pay Rotary Bengaluru Midnight Marathon, where around 10,000 marathon runners participated. It's the world's first midnight marathon, which started in 2007 and gets flagged off at midnight. But now, due to logistics, they've advanced it to 11:15 p.m. So at 11:15 p.m., President flagged off the marathon. This year, since President Gordon was going to be flagging off the marathon, they are raising money for mental health. So it was a run for mental wellness, and that is what the program last night was. So at around midnight, he flagged off the Midnight Marathon, which is soon going to be Bharat Midnight Marathon. Right now, it's still a Bengaluru Midnight Marathon. And this morning, he has gone across to our Parliament House, Vidhan Soda and High Court to flag off a vintage car rally. We have the Vintage Car Rally Association tying up with Rotary. So once President Gordon, he would have flagged it off at 8:30 a.m. So I'm presuming it's done and he's on his way here. So the moment he flags off that the Vintage Car Rally. Oh, he's here. Sorry, President. I'm still in the midnight mode. I'm not as active as you. So President Gordon is here. Let's have a round of applause. He's been at it non-stop without sleep. Every time we tell him, Do you want to go at midnight? He says yes. Do you want to go at 4 a.m.? He says yes. Do you want to go at 7 a.m.? He says yes. I'm yet to hear a no, and I'm so glad. So he flagged off the vintage car rally, and that rally is now driving around Bengaluru with polio branding, doing a public image project for Rotary and showcasing the Rotary brand across the main central business district of Bangalore. And then they will be arriving here, and we will also recognize them. So thank you, President Gordon, for the golf tournament, for the midnight marathon, and for the vintage rally. We're ready with plenary 4, and this plenary is on the day 3 of RISE Rotary Zone Institute 2023. Let me tell you, this plenary 4, our session partner is Dr. E.K. Sagadevan. Do we have Dr. E.K. Sagadevan? I met him. Can you please rise, sir? Dr. Saga, where are you? Dr. Saga, I just met him. Okay, he's outside. Fine. A big round of applause. He's our session partner, Dr. Sagadevan. And we will be starting this morning session. Okay, there you're seeing visuals of the vintage car rally. These are cars right from the 50s and 60s and 70s and maybe 30s and 40s. So we have a very popular association, and that's right in front of our Parliament House. So you're seeing visuals of that car rally on your screen. So to start off the day's proceedings, we have the welcome dance. And to tell you a bit more about the welcome dance, can I please invite Dr. Rupa Haryani on stage, please?
Friends, the three of us have made a special effort to make it interesting and happy for you as we carried you through the opening session and the 4 plenaries. Thank you so much for your response, and thank you so much for cooperation. Thank you very much, and a very good morning to each one of you. Over to you, Rupa.
A very good morning and welcome to day 3 and the final day of RISE Institute 2023. To extend a warm and cordial welcome to all of you once again, we have an accomplished dancer over here with her students. She took her baby steps into the world of dancing when she was all but 7 years old. By profession, she is a dental surgeon, and by passion, she is an accomplished Bharatanatyam dancer. She has tutored hundreds of students. But what is very heartwarming about our dancer is that she also tutors the visually challenged and the speech impaired. And I would like to share with you at this point of time that these students performed so well at the RI convention in 2012, which was held at Bangkok. She is also a member of UNESCO International Dance Council. She is the partner of PDRR and the current president of Rotary Bangalore Southwest, President Rotarian Karthik Kittu. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and let us welcome Dr. Raksha Karthik Kittu. Raksha, the stage is all yours.
A very good morning to one and all present here. Today, Nattanam Institute of Dance, students of Nattanam present to you a Ganapati Kriti. Vata Api Ganapatim Bhaje, composed by Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar in Raga Hamsadhvani set to Aditala. The dancers pray to Lord Ganapati, who hails from Vatapi, the current Hampi. The elephant-faced god showers his devotees with boons. The ghosts and the demons who accompany his father, Lord Shiva, worship his feet. They surrender themselves to him as he is the one who pervades the world of the 5 elements. He is beyond anyone's desire. He is glorified by all the saints, all the yogis. He is the creator. He is the destroyer. He resides in the mystic triangle of one's soul. He is worshipped by Lord Vishnu and the other gods. His hands are like that of the lotus and carries noose, gourd, and his favorite fruit, pomegranate. He drives away all the evil and has a gigantic form. His form is adorned by Lord Subramanya and Lord Shiva. He has a big belly and he is called as Heramba. He is decorated by the raga Hamsadvani, presenting to you Vatapi Ganapatim Bache.
वातापि गणपतिं भजे वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वरप्रदं श्रीवातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वरदास्यं वरप्रदं श्रीवातापि गणपतिं भजे संसेवित चरणं भूतादि संसेवित चरणं भूतभौतिक प्रपञ्च भरणं भूतादि संसेवित चरणं भूतभौतिक प्रपञ्च भरणं वीतरागिणं वीतरागिणं विनुतयोगिन विश्वकारणं विघ्नवारणं वीतरागिणं विनुतयोगिन विश्वकारणं विघ्नवारणं वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वरदास्यं वरप्रदं श्रीवातापि गणपतिं भजे पुराकुम्भसम्भव मुनिवर प्रपूजितं त्रिकोणमध्यगतं पुराकुम्भसम्भव मुनिवर प्रपूजितं त्रिकोणमध्यगतं मुरारी प्रमुखाद्युपासीतं मुरारी प्रमुखाद्युपासीतं परादिचत्वारिवागात्मकं प्रणवस्वरूप वक्रतुण्डम् प्रणवस्वरूप वक्रतुण्डं निरन्तरं निटिलचन्द्रखण्डं निरन्तरं निटिलचन्द्रखण्डं निजवामकरविधृतेक्षुदण्डं निजवामकरविधृतेक्षुदण्डं कराम्बुजपाशबीजापूरं कलुषविदूरं भूताकारं कराम्बुजपाशबीजापूरं कलुषविदूरं भूताकारं हरादिगुरुमुहतोषितबिम्बं हंसध्वनिभूषितगेरम्बं हरादिगुरुमुहतोषितबिम्बं हंसध्वनिभूषितगेरम्बं वाताभिगणपतिं भजे वारणास्यं परप्रदं श्रीवाताभिगणपतिं भजे
Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome dance for Day 3 of RISE 2023, the ultimate, the finale of the Rotary Zone Institute 2023. As you can see, that our External Affairs Minister has landed and he has just left the airport. So he is en route. Whether his convoy brings him here straight or first goes to meet his team and then comes, we will know the update from the security team. I think the security team, one contingent is already here. So requesting everybody who's especially outside or on the way or even around here to settle down, because as soon as he arrives, we will be closing the doors and he will come on stage and take charge of his session. To welcome us back for Day 3 of Rotary Zone Institute 2023 RISE, may I please invite on stage Convener, RI Director, Raju Subramanian. Please welcome him back with a round of applause for the kind of involvement, the passion, and the heart he has put into this institute.
Friends, I loved your energy last evening. I loved your energy day before night too. And I thought that this is exactly what we wanted to give you on those 2 nights of different experiences. One, an outstanding DJ, the best in Bengaluru. And yesterday, Anup Shankar, who I thought was again great. What was your view on Anup Shankar yesterday? Good. Well, the Honorable Minister has arrived and he'll going to be a little late coming in. He wants to freshen up and then come over. So I just had a call from him, and there are also 6 people from the ministry who are coming here for the purpose of this morning's function. So friends, yesterday was a packed day. We started off with some outstanding speakers, some great sessions. Many of you missed the Frankly Speaking, which I thought was a lovely, entertaining, and fabulous session that happened. Missed also the TRF session and the Future of Rotary session. But all in all, we have tried to pack in as much as we could, probably a little extra than what we should have maybe, but then we wanted to give you the best and also wanted you to get a glimpse of what our 7 areas of focus are, not from us, but from people, their perspective from outside of Rotary. And I think that was one of the genres that we wanted to create for this institute. And I think I loved the bling yesterday. Many of you in real bling, I was not. I'm sorry, because I don't belong to that genre for bling, even though my great wife Vidya created the bling for us. But friends, today you're going to have a session which all of us have been looking forward to. In the morning, you're going to have an enthusiastic set of people who have created history by the companies that they have created, and not only do they make money, but they make philanthropy their business. And I think we have it on the last day because we want to imbibe in you the fact that creating wealth is possible. Philanthropy should go hand in hand with creation of wealth. That's the opening session. And the second speaker who comes, as I told you earlier, is a lady whom if you have traveled by Vistara or Indigo, and you see that mischievous message from Indigo which says 6E, it sounds like sexy, and that booklet of theirs contains articles by her on literacy, education, psychological treatment for young people, etc. And that's what really endeared me, reading on the flight as I traveled, that this lady is an embodiment to tell us from literacy to empowerment. And I think she will again be a person. Now, Varati, can you come forward, please? Again, be a person who is going to give us insights which will help us to go back to our districts, share the experiences of RISE Institute, and create new vistas of service, a new genre of service, a new path to service in everything that we do. If we have ignited in you in these 3 days a passion to do something more than what you have ever done before, I think this RISE Institute would have been a successful institute. Because that's what the attempt was. That was the earnest desire of the organizing team to ignite something more, a little spark or a major spark to ensure that we grow better, we do better, and we create a future for the betterment of the community. And then lastly, of course, you will have the man we have been waiting for. And look at him. If you have questions to ask, I wanted to moderate the questions. And he just now told me, no way are you doing it. Let them be free to ask any question it likes, and I'll answer all of them without difficulty. Clap if you like with round of applause, yaar. ये ठंडे दिमाग से शायद ये नहीं करना है. And he said the reason why, he says, if I have faced the media in Davos or in New York or London or anywhere else, and I have not been bothered by the questions that they ask, my fellow citizens cannot be worse than them. So, ready to face your questions, ready to answer your questions, but friends, full discipline during that process. There'll be 4 sergeants with mics. Do not snatch the mic from their hands. They will put on the mic and give you. I will identify which sergeant will give the mic. It'll go in sequential order, either from the right or from the left, and we will move back in the same way. So you'll have an opportunity. So if you want to ask questions, frame your thoughts now. Don't go to the mic and start thinking what you want to ask him, because we'll be short of time. So therefore, frame your thoughts now, believe in what you want to ask, and one request, no political questions. We are above politics. We are not a body that concerns with politics. So anything concerning politics or the governments in power or anything of that nature, I'd request you to avoid. But let's see what he says, because he's talking about the large decade. And if he talks anything on that decade, and if you think anything arises out of that to you ask, please feel free to ask. And friends, be gentle, be kind, be considerate when you ask those questions. And this is an appeal to you, my friends, that any program that we do, There are 10 hands that are working. And I think we need to be very gentle, very considerate, and very affectionate when we speak to people and not use harsh words for the purpose of anybody, because any of us, none of us are infallible. As I told you on day one, all of us are fallible. Only He, the Lord above us, is infallible. So mistakes can occur, but for that, let's be gentle in treating those mistakes and not be harsh with any individuals or anybody else. Thank you so much for coming. And I see a decent set of crowd that today I can then see that there is a possibility of this hall becoming full before the minister actually arrives. Friends, no rushing for photographs, no rushing for autographs. Beyond that red line, nobody will rush. The sergeants have been instructed, and these are security reasons, my friend. He's a double Z security minister, and we need to protect the security that he has. So we have absolutely clear instructions not to rush forward wherever he is. Remain seated where you are, and I will request the minister if he can give, but he cannot give an autograph or photograph with everybody. It's not going to be feasible, and therefore, don't make a rush or a beeline. Let us be disciplined today to show the minister, because I am looking at large partnerships with the ministries in the future, which I have already discussed with him, to take me to other ministries for the purpose of our partnering with the Ministry of Environment, which I have spoken to Amar Patnaik and others. So let's create that discipline and that atmosphere to ensure that they realize that we are a responsible set of Rotarians, responsible Rotarians who want to walk that extra mile to light that candle in the lights of those for whom darkness has been a complete darkness all their lives. So friends, thank you very much. So far you've been an absolutely outstanding crowd. So I want to give yourselves a big, big round of applause for the way you have been disciplined in the hall today. I don't hear applause for yourselves. You all don't want to clap for yourselves? All right, friends, so enjoy the day. And of course, as usual, this RISE Institute has been very magnanimous in the food that we have given you. The quality of the food, the variety of the food, and the taste of the food. And today is no exception. Don't miss the lunch, but only one condition. We are serving gin and tonic and beer. Will not start till the event gets over. So don't rush to the bar. You will not get a drink. Okay? Enjoy yourselves. Have a good day. And I'll come back again for my closing remarks. But in case any of you are leaving before that, have a safe flight back home. Enjoy the festive season. Have a wonderful Xmas and a new year full of new ideas, good health, cheer and joy always in our lives. And let's meet again as soon as we can. And I must end with this. This is continuity. And may I request Anirudh to join me on stage. Anirudh was apprehensive whether he will cross that 500 target. And I assured him, not only will you cross that, you will surpass what we did at Vishaka Vista. And today, my friends, I am so proud to say we have surpassed that 568 registrations in Vishaka Vista. And this is the continuity in action. And I think this is the way forward for all of us, as our President Gordon has been always speaking about it. Anirudh had something to say. May I request you to make a few remarks, and then we can start. Thank you, friends. Applaud for me, yaar. Last time, aap bhi kitne jan baithoge, uske baad मालूम नहीं है.
Good morning, good morning, friends. Good morning to all of you. What exciting. For me, it is 5 days, more than 5 days, and for all the institute delegates, it is almost 2.5 days. Right from my arrival on 12th, it's a learning curve for me. 18 months back, when Raju called me sometime in the afternoon, requesting me, "Okay, Anirudh, I want to do the next year's institute." Without blinking an eye, I said, "Go ahead. You do the first institute." And the rest is history, my dear friend. What an institute he has presented in 2020-23 RISE in Bengaluru. And I must request each one of you, please join your hands in appreciation the great leader and leadership demonstrated by our dear friend, Director Raju and Vidya. Vidya, will you please rise and be recognized, please? As I said, it's a learning curve for me. I learned a lot of things. Right from the day one, as I said, the training program. So nicely crafted, curated. And of course, for that, I must compliment the general trainer, all the facilitators, and the chairman of various training seminar for putting their show, putting their facilitation to all the governor-elects, governor nominees, and of course, all the adjunct learning sessions. Fantastic. And then the institute. As I said, Raju, yesterday I called Chetan. Where's Chetan? Where's Chetan? Chetan, are you here? No, he's not here. He's not here. I said, Chetan, the day when I'm seeing you, whenever I had gone to the dining room, you were there, discussing with the chef, instructing them, keeping an eye with each and every delegate, whether the food is being served, the quality of food. That's, I can say, is incredible. Incredible, my dear friend. I haven't seen any other event in my life. I must compliment Chetan and entire food committee. What a phenomenal job you all have done. And that is one of the talking points of this institute. Other than, there are many. I'm not mentioning that. As I said, that Raju has said, okay, Anirudh, this is your closing remark maybe. I can only say, my dear friend, great support I have received. All my team of Kochi have received from the team RISE, right from the Samir, all the team members, Fazal, I cannot name each one of them, the kind of support they have provided to us to achieve this 560 odd registration for Kochi Institute 2020-24. I'm really indebted to all of you. And friends, at the end, I can tell you to all my friends, because I find the minister is still not there. I have at least 1 minute I can take. Raju, can I take 1 minute? Is it? 1 minute. Oh, more than, not more than 1 minute, right. Raju is very fussy about the timing. And yes. Another good thing I will mention that Raju maintained the timings. That normally we don't, keep the timings in this part of the subcontinent, and that is a learning curve for me also. But what I'm saying is, in 1 minute, that the next year and next year, I'm talking about 2 years, 24, 25, and 25, 26, a very important year for all of us present here, especially the Rotarians of all the 4 zones, and Zone 1B, where is Aziz. Aziz is my batchmate. Aziz, this is very important for all of us, these 5 zones. We have to ensure that we complete the process of no further cases of polio. If we can do it within 18 months of time, we can change the face of our organization. I am pretty sure we have enough resources. We can think for the next our corporate program, and you see how we can increase our membership. I again mentioned that Let us change the wheel. Let us see the magic starts happening now. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Raju, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. May God bless all of you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Aniruddha. And now, Samir, it's your turn.
Thank you, Director and co-convener Anirudh Dada. Now it's time for Kochi in maybe 3.5 hours. Thank you. 3.5 hours. I think I'll catch the flight from here to Kochi and spend the next 1 year there itself, getting ready for Kochi 2024. Well, ladies and gentlemen, every year at the Institute, we have a business session where we have a look at the 5-year financial forecast of Rotary International. As you know, that in the future vision and in the planning, we always look at the action plan for 5 years. And today, to guide us through and take us through the 5-year financial forecast, please welcome on stage past Rotary International Director, Dr. Manoj Desai. Can we have a round of applause to welcome Dr. Manoj Desai, please?
Respected President Gordon, Lady Heather, Convener Raju, Vidya, dignitaries, and friends. Honestly speaking, Raju put me in an awkward situation for the simple reason that a spine surgeon is talking about financial forecast. I thought spine surgery was easy and this is more difficult, but I'll give it a try. But before I go into the details, I would request to show you wonderful audiovisual video which has been created by Rotary International's treasurer, Drew Kessler, and Chief Financial Officer, Julie Burke. Can I have the AV, please?
I am Drew Kessler, Rotary National Treasurer for the year 2023-2024, and I'm joined by Julie Burke, our Chief Financial Officer. We come to you today to discuss the financial health of Rotary and the forecast for the next 5 years. Before we begin, a little bit about us. I have been a Rotarian for over 2 decades and have held financial positions throughout the organization. I've been the treasurer of my Rotary Club, my district's finance chair, and the event chair for my club, my district, as well as my zone, where balancing a budget was a large part of the role. This past Rotary year, I served on Rotary's Finance Committee, where I gained a full understanding of the economics that drive our organization. Professionally, I'm a banker who specializes in commercial real estate finance for a large regional bank in North America.
I joined Rotary 4 years ago, and I'm truly blessed to be part of such a great organization, both as the CFO and as a Rotarian. My journey to Rotary started in a pretty traditional way. I spent several years in public accounting where I worked in audit and tax for public, private, and not-for-profit organizations in a variety of industries. I then joined one of the largest not-for-profit health systems in the U.S., where I happily worked for many years before my life brought me to Chicago and ultimately to Rotary. Working for an organization with a mission I can connect with has always been important to me, and it's why I'm at Rotary.
Rotary's mission and the work we do is very near and dear to my heart. I get asked all the time why I joined Rotary, and the answer is simple. Rotary has changed my life. It offers me networking opportunities, leadership, and professional development, an outlet to give back both in my community and around the world. As a father of 5, every one of my children has been impacted by Rotary's youth offerings, including Youth Exchange, Interact, and RILA. Rotary has excellent resources and programs that help members serve their communities and their clubs, both near and far. Take the tragic and devastating war in Ukraine, for example. As refugees fled the country for safety, it was our members that opened their homes, collected and distributed supplies, and donated to our foundation to ensure that clubs in the area had the funding they needed to offer aid.
Rotary staff are located in 8 international offices and support more than 1.4 million members in over 46,000 clubs. We operate in more than 200 countries and geographic territories. Financially speaking, between Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation, we currently have over 100 bank accounts globally. These accounts are held in 27 banks, some in large global financial institutions and others in local banks. We currently have bank accounts in 28 countries and operate in 26 currencies.
Rotary has a strong and effective focus on financial governance. Our staff prepare a zero-based budget every year that aligns with the organization's strategic initiatives and activities for the coming year. Key assumptions are brought to the Finance Committee for review, discussion, and recommendation to the board. A balanced budget is built on these assumptions. The board discusses the proposed budget as it relates to Rotary's overall goals. It also considers strategic investments and monitors our financial performance throughout the year to track progress.
In terms of the budget, Rotary has 3 types of revenue, which you can see here: membership dues, investment earnings, and a segment we call services and other. Investment earnings represent 2% of our revenue. Services and other revenues generally offset by service and other expenses. This includes things like the International Convention and the Council on Legislation. Membership dues revenue represents over 71% of Rotary's revenue and is the primary source of funding for Rotary's operational costs and future investments in our members. In January 2023, Rotaractors began paying membership dues for the first time. We build 10,700 clubs, representing 168,000 Rotaractors. Looking at Rotary's operating costs, they're divided into 3 categories. The first are expenses that directly support members. This accounts for 58% of RI dues and includes things like training, district leadership funding, and assisting clubs and districts daily. Then there are expenses that support Rotary's public image. This accounts for 20% of RI dues. It includes member access to branding assets, tools, and communications that increase awareness of Rotary and help clubs tell their stories locally. Finally, there are expenses that cover necessary administration costs and compliance obligations, such as office rent, technology maintenance and investment, and legal support. This accounts for 22% of RI dues. While we develop a balanced budget for the coming year, we also create a 5-year forecast. Doing so allows us to project what our financial future may look like based on what we know now. This ensures that the financial decisions we make today support our financial strength and future growth.
The key assumptions in the 5-year forecast are membership levels, membership dues, the investment earning rate, and the inflation rate. In my mind, though, the most important assumptions are the ones around membership. The 2022 Council on Legislations set RI membership dues through Rotary year 2026. So it's the 2022 membership level that we use as a benchmark. As an organization, we've gotten good at forecasting membership trends over the years, and unfortunately, we're forecasting fewer members this year and next year. The implication of decreasing membership is that our revenues are declining as well. Additionally, with the recent levels of inflation, our expenses are also increasing. So we've made some tough decisions to reduce costs and develop a balanced budget. Membership has grown over the years, but too many members have left the organization to see any real gains. That's why we've shifted our focus from solely growing Rotary and increasing our membership to finding ways to keep current members engaged and connected. We know that when members feel a strong sense of belonging and are presented with meaningful opportunities to serve their communities, they are more likely to stay in Rotary. And the longer they stay, the stronger our organization is.
Here you see projections for Rotary's financial picture over the next 5 years. Rotary year 2023 is the base year, and assumptions are applied to future years. Looking at the chart on the left, the green bars show revenues higher than expenses. The red bars show expenses higher than revenues. We are projecting a balanced budget in fiscal year 24, surpluses in fiscal years 25 and 26, a near balanced budget in fiscal year 27, and a deficit in fiscal year 28. It's important to note that in the 5-year forecast, there's no membership dues increase assumed for fiscal years 27 and 28, as that will be determined by the 2025 Council on Legislation. I also want to point out that in fiscal years 23 and 24, they reflect the board's decisions to use reserves to fund strategic initiatives, including regionalization and polio eradication efforts. When we look at the graph on the right, the orange bars represent the forecasted reserve levels, while the red data points reflect the board reserve target. You can see that the forecasted reserve levels are above the reserve targets in every year. This is important in ensuring that Rotary has assets set aside for unexpected circumstances. We are projecting sufficient funds to meet the board target through 2028. Our bylaws require a balanced budget each year, And to do so, we will continue to prioritize our spending and focus on growing our revenues.
To highlight a few priorities for the coming year, we will continue to invest in technology that will enhance the membership experience online. You can expect to see exciting upgrades to My Rotary and Rotary.org in the coming year. We're also supporting innovative and flexible club models to bring even more people into Rotary, particularly those who are looking to connect with us in less traditional ways. We're helping clubs provide a memorable and valuable experience to engage current and future members. We're establishing new partnerships with global organizations that will help us expand our reach. And of course, there's our continued dedication to eradicating polio. We won't stop until every child is protected from this disease.
If you're interested in more information on Rotary's finances, we publish our annual report and audited financial statements on Rotary.org. On behalf of Drew and myself, we'd like to offer our special thanks to you, our members, for your attention and continued dedication to doing good in the world.
Was it good? Can you imagine, friends, that how Rotary operates in 200 countries through 8 offices to serve 1.4 million members and nearly 46,000 clubs? It is really mind-boggling for me that we operate about 100 bank accounts in 26 currencies. Not a small thing. Friend, here I'm just highlighting a few important things. The basic philosophy is zero balance budget with focus on strategic initiatives, investments and initiatives, which RI board discusses and approves. Actually, most important point is Rotary has only 3 types of revenue, as you heard. Membership dues, investment returns, which is probably 2% only, and service and other revenues. Membership dues revenue represents 71% of Rotary's revenue and is the primary source. Rotaractors began paying membership dues for the first time, and billing was sent to 10,700 clubs, representing 1,6,800 Rotaractors. As on June 6th, 66% of Rotaractors have paid the dues, remaining will be coming. Investment earnings, as I said, it's only 2%, and it is unpredictable because of the market ups and downs. And remaining service and other revenue are generally offset by services and other expenses. This includes things like international convention and council on legislation. Regarding the operating costs, they are divided in 3 categories. The first one directly supports members, and this accounts for 58% of the RI dues, which goes into mainly training, district leadership funding, and assisting the clubs and districts. Then there are expenses that support Rotary's public image, and you would be happy to know that administrative cost is 22%, and we are spending 20% on public image, branding. Finally, there are expenses that cover necessary administration costs and compliance obligations, such as office rent, technology maintenance, investment, legal support. This accounts for 22%. Friends, remember there are always focus on future growth and financial strength, and we are doing well. But the budget clearly showed us that in 28, we will be running into deficit, and for that, next COL, as always, will be a point of debate. But inflation is increasing, and you understand that. So as you heard, RI board has decided to use the reserves for next 2 years, but it is expected about 28, there would be deficit. So it is for us, the leaders, to understand and take vital decisions in COL. Thank you very much.
Thank you, past Rotary Director Dr. Manoj Desai, for that insightful presentation, and congratulations, Rotary International, for, as usual, wonderful planning and wonderful strategies for the years ahead. That's like, as he said, that's the key reason, the structure, the planning, the strategy. That's one of the main reasons that we are one of the most successful international organizations that the world has ever seen, and we are all proud to. Are we proud to be Rotarians? Give me a yes or no. Definitely, and we are so proud that we are part of this wonderful organization. Well, when we were having a talk on the first day about Bengaluru and our city, I told you that Bangalore is renowned over the years for various things. Initially, we hardly had any concrete structures. We just had trees, gardens, huge bogs as we call them. So we were known as the garden city. You had like 3 houses on a street, and in between the houses there were only trees and gardens and everything. And then soon it started getting commercialized, and a lot of the boom, the software boom or the tech boom happened. And then we got to be known as the Silicon City of India and the IT capital of India. And then there came a time where we became the pub city of India. And as you all the governors-elect will remember that on their Get's inaugural day, we took them to the largest microbrewery, because we have become the brewery city of India as well. But one thing that we are really, really proud of is Bangalore is also a startup capital, literally. And today's, yes, please do applaud. We are a startup capital, literally, in this country. And today, we have accomplished, invitees and speakers for the next session who are going to actually share with us the kind of vision, and not only a vision, the kind of philanthropy these young achievers or these startup achievers are doing. But to tell you more about this, may I please invite past DRR and current Hope President from my own home club to please come on stage. I hope he's there. He's behind me. I can see him on the screen there. Please put your hands together for BDRR Rotarian Karthik Kittu.
Very warm good morning to all of you. And namaskara to Namma Bengaluru. It's my proud privilege to talk a few words about the panel. First up, we have Mr. Prashant Prakash, who I work with very closely. Prashant Prakash ji is an India venture capitalist, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. And he is the founding partner of Excel India, the chairman for Vision Group for Startups, Government of Karnataka, a member of the Sustainability Task Force for G20, and a member of the National Startup Advisory Council in India. Since 2004, he has played a key role in venture capital nurturing in Karnataka and envisaged to build the future of India through education and pioneering the way to act as a catalyst for entrepreneurs and venture capitalists to give back to society. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting Rotary's invitation, and we would like to welcome you on stage. Please put your hands together for Mr. Prashant Prakash. Joining us online today is Mr. Nitin Kamath, who couldn't catch a flight back to Bangalore, who is the founder and chief executive officer of Zerodha, the largest stock brokerage firm in India, headquartered in Bangalore. He is an Indian entrepreneur, stockbroker, and columnist for the Financial Express, and is widely acknowledged for his achievement and influence in the Indian business landscape. Zerodha won the Startup of the Year 2020 award and the 2023 CK Prahlad Next Practice Entrepreneurship Award. Please put your hands together for Mr. Nitin Kamath.
So Mr. Nitin Kamath of Zerodha couldn't be here, but I think, has he joined online, Naren? He's not yet. Okay, we're just waiting for him to join online, and you will see him on screen. So it'll be like a hybrid panel.
Mr. Ankit Nagori was Chief Business Officer of Flipkart and stepped again into entrepreneurship and launched CureFit, rebranded as CultFit with Mukesh Bansal. And the company launched many verticals. Many of you would have been customers like CultFit, MindFit, CareFit, and EatFit amongst others. In 2020, he co-founded Cure Foods, which includes EatFit, Cake Zone, Sharif Bhai, Nomad Pizza, Frozen Bottle, and many more, like the Great Indian Khichdi and the Home Plate and Oven Fresh. Being passionate about sports and impact investing, he has opened Simply Sports Foundation. As he says, at Simply Sport, we are striving to support the grassroots sports ecosystem in India, as sports can be a huge enabler for people in India. Please put your hands together for Ankit Nagori. To complete the panel, we have Mr. Sudhir Subbaraman, the partner and chief operating officer at Sattva Consulting, working closely with business unit leaders and responsible for growth optimization and implementing strategic initiatives across Sattva. Sudhir has more than 25 years of experience across corporate and sectors, and going beyond his technological and business operations expertise, Sudhir is keen on helping founders to shape their organization's culture, scale, and processes. Please put your hands together for Mr. Sudhir Subbaraman. Thank you so much, and over to you.
Thank you so much for your presence, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, please.
Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to Namma Bengaluru. It's a pleasure to be here this morning and welcome to the startup capital of Southeast Asia. I know all of you are here from different parts of Southeast Asia, Nepal and India. And this is the startup hub of this part of the world. And we will talk about a very slightly different dimension of what's the outcome of the new startup activity in this country and what has been the implications of this boom, so to speak, on philanthropy. So there was a time when philanthropy was really about somebody in their 70s all the way to the 80s of their life. You know, this philanthropy was a sunset thing that you thought of doing something and just writing a check. And this was kind of the old, in my opinion, the old view of philanthropy. And what you're starting to see is what I call as bold philanthropy. What is bold philanthropy, right? Or what I also call as NGO 2.0. What is the difference between this and what we have been used to as philanthropy before? I think there are 2 to 3 key differentiations. One, I think now, because it is being done by younger folks, they want to be a bit more active in their giving. There's a little bit more intervention. There's a little bit more of their expertise that they want to bring to bear to their philanthropy, and it's just not about writing a check. That is the first thing. Second thing is, I think they think scale first and technology first. So which really makes a difference when you think of solving something for population scale like in India. So just to kind of diverge a little bit here, we have been a country that has been trying to solve societal problems for the last 75 years. Partly successful, marginally successful. We still have a long way to go. And we can't wait for another 75 years. Before we are 100, in the next 25 years, we got to do what we could not do in the last 75 years. So you need a very different paradigm, a very different thinking, and what we have been able to do in the business world of building, 100 unicorns, building all of this kind of scale. Why can't we bring that to bear to change our deal with our societal challenges in the next 25 years? There is no meaning to Amrit Kal or any other Kal that we are talking about if we don't solve basic human challenges that we face in this country. And I think that's where bold philanthropy makes a difference. And today we'll talk about some of the folks who have been involved in that, like my friends here, Sudhir, Ankit, and Nitin.
Prashant, I just, thanks for the opening. I think you saw that Nitin has joined.
I just saw that.
Can we just do a tech test because we didn't get a chance to do it earlier? Just to confirm, welcome to you, Mr.
please.
Kamath. Can you hear us is one thing I just want to check.
Yeah, can you just say a few words so that we can hear you, Nitin?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, are you able to hear us, Nitin? And I think there's a little bit of low bandwidth from your end. Has the call dropped, Naren? Can you please check?
So we'll come back.
Okay, we'll continue, but he could hear us, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Sorry, okay. I can.
Okay.
Nitin, you're a little bit
Am I sounding okay?
Okay, we will carry on. We hope that the echo is sorted. There seems to be an echo. So you need, the audio team needs to check this also, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think I'll start out with the panel. So I think, Sudhir, I'll start out with one of the initiatives you're involved with, right? Where even Ankit is a part of, so it kind of brings the overall. So there's a initiative that you're involved with called Young India Philanthropic Pledge, right? YIPP is a coming together of Indian startup founders who have tasted success, have got some amount of capital, but the idea is, can we get people in their 40s, late 30s, getting more actively involved in philanthropy? The first generation of Bangalore philanthropists like Azim Premji, Mr. Narayan Murthy, all got into philanthropy in their 60s. Then the next generation like Chris Gopalakrishna, Nandan, got into philanthropy in their 50s. So the whole, the thought process here is, can we get people in their 40s involved in philanthropy? And that's the idea that Nikhil Kamath and Nitin and some of us, including Ankit here, started this thing called YIPP, Young India Philanthropic Pledge. And one of the projects there was, Sudhir, in the education space. So maybe you can talk about the three things that I think define bold philanthropy, which is creativity and innovative in how we approach the problem, scale thinking, and looking at how you build things more efficiently and look at the value for the money being spent, and bringing a little bit of business thinking into what we are doing.
So thank you so much, and it's really an honor to be here and among the leaders here. So thank you for the great question, and just to add a little bit of color, the significance and importance of the young philanthropists in the context of impact sector. So as of 2022, government still has a significant role to play from a social sector perspective. It's still 90-95% of where it is. But it was predominantly only government many years ago. Now we see a lot more of private philanthropy coming in. And even the shape of private philanthropy is coming from the CSR, it's coming from retail funding, and more importantly now it's coming from young philanthropy, right? And that's from family foundations, startup founders who really...
So interestingly, it is the second generation that is more active, yeah.
Absolutely.
Even in the families.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's sort of really important to understand the significance of this because clearly while the predominant burden of the social sector was in the government, now I think it's a lot more where there's a strong sense of corporations, there's a strong sense of individuals who want to give back to the country and want to make a difference. So I think it's both in terms of economic sense, but also in terms of intent and wanting to make a difference is really what we are seeing as a significant shift in the last few years. And that intent plus economics is really what's driving a lot more of catalysts in the change. And specifically to what Prashant was talking about, our work with YIPP is specifically on a model of model schools. So you probably all have heard about model schools across the countries. But what we are figuring out is it's very hard to scale model schools in a given state, in a given sort of district block and so on because of the pure economics of it. And it's done very local as an experiment, and we are all assuming that it'll sort of scale up over a period of time. But we sort of reverse the problem working with YIPP, given sort of the way we've been asked to think of the problem is think first more systemic, think more technology, think more scale, and more like a framework so that it's able to expand and so on. So I think we've been really successful at thinking about a framework system and more also unit economics and with the speed, things that would take years and years, now we're able to put together in a few months and working with the government very actively. And more importantly, I think what has been a challenge with a lot of philanthropists is working with government is usually not preferred. But this has been done with partnership from the government right from the get-go, right? So not looking at government as somebody we don't want to work with, it's hard to work with, but you have to work with the government as a partner and sort of take it. So I think it's been a great sort of learning, and also we're seeing a lot more of such projects to where we need this sort of business mindset, technology first mindset, scale and speed to bring to the sector because we need that momentum, we need that change, and we need that commitment. And one last point on the way the young philanthropists think is from their business sense is a lot of the CSR capital is very limited. You can only do it when there's already a program that can scale. A lot of the foreign philanthropy is very limited. They only want to experiment and do catalytic sort of things. But what comes with the sort of the young-led philanthropy mentalists, they are not afraid to experiment. So from catalyst to program to measurement, they are looking at the entire spectrum, which is the real need of the hour. And we're really excited about the role that the young philanthropists are playing.
Yeah, thank you. So I think the part I want to mention here is this idea of platform thinking. I think a lot of you are aware, we have one of the largest NGOs in the world and one of the most fragmented NGO ecosystem with some of the smallest NGOs also in the world. So the problem is convergence. So I think what young philanthropists are able to do is get this whole idea of collective philanthropy to work. Bring a lot of disparate, not so integrated NGOs on a single platform and see if collectively you can create more impact by getting them to collaborate on a platform with technology and so on. So I wanted to also leave behind this idea of collective philanthropy and the role of that as something that's being catalyzed by young Indians today. So Nitin, I think you've also taken a very platform approach and put together, I want you to talk about your platform and what got you to think about looking at this as both expertise plus capital plus passion kind of a thing, and some of the key areas that you focus on.
Thanks, Prashant. Sorry for not being there. I had to travel. No, I think just to add to the last point, right? I think see, like how startups can solve for some of the problems which your larger incumbents can't because of the scale and size. I think even the social sector, I don't think, I mean, eventually, right, if you need any impact, it's the government, right? As in, the government has to make changes. But the government can't really, it's just so tough to run such a large organization. I mean, running the government is probably unfathomable. So I don't think they can really experiment with all these smaller things. And I think the way we think about social sector is, you want the social sector to be like the startup, experimenting on small things, and then go to the government eventually and say, this worked, now this probably needs to be scaled, right? And so for us, I think, so in 2016 is when we started Rain Matter, which was like a fintech fund incubator. So we said we want to help Indians do better with money, and so what we're doing as Zerodha is not enough. Maybe we need to do more, and we need to probably do this collaborating versus trying to do it all ourselves. And so in my head, what we do as Rainmatter FinTech is also philanthropy because, I mean, we come up, while it is a for-profit investment, the objective is to help Indians do better with money. And so as the business grew, I think internally the core team, we started asking questions saying, does success bring some kind of an obligation as well? Because I think wealth concentration is probably one of the biggest problems on the planet today. And wherever there is concentration, I think people have to do more, to kind of do better for society. And that's how, eventually led to the foundation forming in 2020. The way we thought about the foundation is that, we need to support, while we've always been supporting NGOs from when we started doing well as a business, we wanted to put a structure to this because we were just all around the place. So when we started the foundation, we said we'll do something that we can associate with, which we care about the most. And we said it's climate change. The intersection of climate change kind of is everywhere from education to health to everything. So 2020 is when we started the foundation, and today, if you were to ask me,
Sorry, I think we lost Nitin there, but what Nitin is doing is something called the Rainmatter Foundation. And Rainmatter Foundation is a unique effort because it brings to bear both grant capital that is of an equity form, and a lot of the entrepreneurial thinking that goes into building NGOs and building these initiatives. So I think you're seeing even here what I would call as blended capital, right? The idea, that's I think also very interesting, where you have CSR capital, you have grant capital coming from funds like Rainmatter, and you also have your traditional family foundations and some of them also contributing. So next, maybe Ankit, see, yours is really a passion thing leading to a philanthropic now effort, right? So what were some of the learnings, and you've been a serial entrepreneur now, how have you been able to take some of those learnings and determine what is important for building Simply Sports? And maybe you can talk a little bit about Simply Sports and how you've been able to, again, converge people and get people to contribute and engage with you.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Prashant